What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin It podcast. Andre, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I mean, I'm emotionally stable at the moment because I didn't pay attention to the trailer or the drop. Everybody said,
Okay, well, you're doing better than me. You're doing better than me right now. So, all right. So you're looking at the title. Last week I actually forgot to bring this up, and Nintendo bought out. What's the name of that studio? Starts with a D.
honestly,
Hold on one second.
the name escapes me at the moment.
Yeah, the name escapes me, but they brought a studio, an animation studio. They've known for, I think they did the animation for like other Metroid Other M and a whole bunch of other CG. What's the name of this? Dynamo Pictures. There it is. Yeah, it's called They acquired CG animation company Dynamo Pictures and pretty much renamed it as Nintendo Pictures Limited, which I'm like, okay, cool, not bad. But
It's a very good name for Nintendo, but they do that sometimes.
yeah, yeah. So that does happen. But I thought because I should have brought this up last week, but I didn't, and that's why I'm doing it now. So I got to thinking, and I brought it up to the crew, and I'm like, okay, so since they finally have Nintendo Pictures Limited now, is it time for them to go on and do what we've been saying to do and give me the rest of that Star Fox anime?
Star Fox anime, the Smash anime, they got a lot they need to work on.
Yeah, one of the ones that I think I would like is the Star Fox anime. They still got it up on YouTube, by the way. It's like 14 minutes of beautiful brilliance, and that was one of the ones. I did like the Pikmin shorts. I thought they were funny, especially the horror one. I thought that was hilarious. The quote unquote horror one. I thought that was hilarious. But and also they did for Kid Icarus Uprising, they had three shorts. I think one was by Production IG, one was by Studio 4C, and the other one was by Shaft. So I'm like, they've had dealings where they dabbled with anime, and I know everybody loves that Smash 4 Palatina reveal where it's pretty much Link embarrassing Pit anime style. So tonight I want to talk about, stuff that can actually work as games that can work as movies or anime or in that realm. And on the flip side of that, movies or that can actually that could maybe work as games. So to start this one off, gonna go for, let's see, game to movie adaptation. With me, I think the one that's the no brainer to me is actually Fire Emblem, simply because Fire Emblems they have a lot of lore, so you can actually do, if you want to do, let's say, like anime seasons, whatever, you have enough lore for at least 6-7 seasons off top. Or if you want to go game wise, you can go, okay, we can do however many for Fire Emblem Awakening, however many for what is it, Dawn of something. What was the one on GameCube? Can't remember the one on GameCube, but yeah, Fire Emblem Awakening, Fire Emblem Three Houses. You can have a lot. You have a lot of content that you can play around with. If you're going for that, and you can still make it. I'll probably leave it as anime. I probably would not go the live action route, just because if it's live action, it's probably going to cost way more. I know it's going to cost way more because you're going to have to CG a lot of stuff for that. You got to CG dragons because dragons are in it. You got to CG a lot of magic. People are going to want to see some craziness. Thanks, Janelle. Path of Radiance, yeah. But with 25% less Chris Redfield version of Ike. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Path of Radiance, you could do like a season for that. So I was thinking along those lines for Fire Emblem, especially since the Game of Thrones. It would have been perfect if they would have did this right after Game of Thrones. But since House of the Dragon is coming out, I think you might still want to jump on that Game of Thrones thirst that people have, and I would put Fire Emblem right in there because it has enough of a story behind it where you can actually play around with it, as well as uh, with the whole let's see, the whole backbiting and politics and all of that stuff that people tend to like. Plus, you have dragons, and everybody loves dragons. So you throw a few dragons in there, and hey, you can probably get like a good amount of, you know, mileage out of it, especially if you throw it on, and you could probably do it in a way that would because the way I would probably do it is probably throw it on the online service, just so you can like. Because I know with some people they'll be like that'll justify it, but I would probably do that instead of going to like Netflix or Hulu or something like that. I mean, I would probably go that route, just because I think that would probably be more along their lines anyway. What's that your name? Fire Emblem Genealogy of Holy War. Okay. For the SNES's Game of Thrones game was, hey, works. Adapt that. That's how I would do it. I would just go that route with the adaptation as far as that's concerned. Because I think when you think about it, you can probably get like either format, TV or movie. You can get a lot of mileage out of it because you can just go by, like if you're going to do movies, you can just go by game. If you're going to do anime, you can do seasons set up around whatever game you're trying to do. So yes, the Xenoblade would work, but here's the question, RJ. Hey, it's RJ. Do you do full-on movies, or do you do straight up anime? That's the question with that series.
It depends on what you planning to do. Now, if you want to tell the whole story in anime, if you want to condense it down into something that's action packed, I'd say do a movie series, like potentially 2 movies per game, with the exceptions of Xenoblade Chronicles X and 3, because we only know those as one game each right now. Because with the definitive edition of the first game, that is now 2 games, and the second game was split into 2 games. We got Chronicles 2 and then Torna. So it really just depends on how they want to bleed this story out.
Why'd you have to say bleed? So, Shadow, how you doing, man?
What's going on, guys? Been a minute.
Yeah, it has. You've been avoiding this like the plague. I don't know why, dude.
Daddy woes, man.
Hey, well, hey, stuff happens. We all understand. So, since you have joined us, I know which series you're gonna want to get done. Killer Instinct. So I already went on to ask that for you.
Of course. Finish the time traveling.
Finish the time travel.
Yeah. It went back to go kill Gargus, and now that's done. So now what's next? You got to go back to the future and then do what? So yeah, and then Trinell calling me out saying y'all mentioned Xenoblade, and that's why I'm here. So it makes all the sense in the world. So yeah. No, I actually went to I was at a expo last weekend, and a lot of classic arcade games and stuff there, and played a weird version of Street Fighter Versus. And I kind of wanted to see how that series is going to progress in 6. So that'll probably be one of the series I want to see further up as far as stories go, and if they do another movie, if they decide to do a movie, how that will go.
This time with 100% more Van Damme.
Yeah, more Van Damme, or just go the animated route again and just have more Chun-Li and Cammy killing. So that's always good. But
no more shower scenes though, because that pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, we can't have the shower scene because how dare we have the poor woman get attacked in the shower? And I'm like, she's not defenseless, bro.
Yes.
Like, it didn't work. Watch the rest of the scene. It's okay.
Yeah, it did not work out well for Vega.
So, but yeah, obviously Killer Instinct for me. I don't even know how you could do a movie on Xenoblade. Like that's just it's like a political movie.
Well, remember back in 2000, was it 4 or 5? They did the Xenogears anime.
They did.
That was okay, but it was only 12 episodes. I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like, and they left a lot of stuff out, which actually pissed me off. But
I think if they do it, they'll probably have to, and it's going to be dry. But I think they'll have to go through Xenosaga first, because you got it.
So you think go start from the actual beginning? Don't start.
Yeah,
Xenoblade, go straight from Saga on. Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah.
And that's gonna make a lot of people, because they want to get to the action, they want to get to whatever. I'm like, no, but you got to know what these people were doing before.
Yeah. So
you understand, the power of this technology they're using that is, shaping everything. So
yeah.
So yeah, it's powered by this power of friendship.
Yeah, the power of friendship.
The power of no pawn. The power of no pawns. So let me ask you this, Shadow. So how would you go about doing it? So, because the whole thing about this is because Nintendo bought that Dynamo Pictures company.
Yeah.
So how would you go about doing it? Would you say, okay, we know we have to adapt this. We know we can adapt this and make something out of it. How do you go about doing it? If you're Nintendo, how do you go about doing it? Do you set it up and say, okay, we're going to throw this on Switch Online, on our online service?
Yep.
Have it as an anime for that, and then have do like, because I don't want to say, like, with Xenoblade it's going to be a problem, because like you said, there is so much that came before Nintendo saved Monolith Soft.
Yep.
So do you even do that, or do you just say, okay, look, we just have to scrap that and just go from Xenoblade and just be like, we'll have to like try to find a way to adapt it in story so that people, it'll make sense. So do you go that route?
I think they could they could probably do the thing where kind of like Marvel did, and just kind of like jump in a point and then go back and start trying to tell the stories of individual people. Okay. But I guess the biggest thing, one thing you mentioned, you was talking about, hey, putting it on the Switch service and whatnot, and I think Nintendo's beyond that now, because they left Miiverse.
Well, no, I mean, you can't put it on freaking Netflix. You're not gonna put it on Disney Plus. You're not gonna put it on Hulu. You're not gonna put that. That's
the backstory, you mean?
Well, no, I mean, like, if you're gonna put like an anime, if you're gonna put anime together, you're not gonna put it on those. You're gonna put it on your own, because that's money for you. You're gonna have to pay Netflix, Hulu, and Disney, and Paramount, and all them other people. You gotta give them a cut.
I think they still go at Paramount, but then they just do Hollywood, and it just be a theatrical release, and then go from there. And then everybody will come to pay them. Like Netflix will say, "Hey, we want to blah blah blah," and then Nintendo and Paramount work a deal.
So Nintendo, the Astral Chain series you got working on.
Yep. I think it will work better that way, instead of them going to pitch them. If they test the movie in theaters and then it does well, i.e. like the Sonic movie or whatever, then the vendors will come to them. Then Apple's calling you like, hey, we're $1 trillion company. We want your stuff on here. How much kind of situation, instead of having to pitch to them and they're like, well, since you're calling to us. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they could launch it on their platform. But if it's going to be a big, like super big theatrical opening, I would probably opt for theaters.
First of all, I ain't trying to go out here in these COVID streets.
I know, and I know they're dead, but they still get the mainstream media still covers them. So even if it doesn't do as well, because nothing's really doing as well as it used to theatrically anymore. Not. But the name's out there. So when it does say, hey, look, well, we're on Blu-ray or streaming services now, everybody knows to go ahead and grab that. Yeah. So it's still an advantage to go theatrical, just so you can get the coverage. Because otherwise, then you gotta individually go and pitch to all the different networks and say, hey, this is about to come out. Also, it's not coming to movie theaters. It's coming just to the Switch platform. Yeah, that'd be kind of strange to pitch. Yeah. So that's how I would see it.
I have a little bit of an argument for that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with going the theatrical route, releasing it in theaters, but I do think that they could and should have their own app on their console for all of their own animated stuff. That way, like Jay said, you're bringing all the money to you. Now, you could have other companies come to them afterwards and ask them about it and try to set up contracts. But if they're pulling all their money to themselves, like release it to theaters first and then do the traditional Blu-ray route after that, and then put it on their own service and let whoever else eke out whatever deals that they're likely to get.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
To get it.
So you could do it like it'd be a theatrical release, but also simultaneously launching on Switch if you have the subscription for the app or whatever.
Yeah, and that way. Yeah, that way you'll have like the people that claim that they don't use it. I mean, I'm sorry, the people that don't use it.
Yeah, they'll be on it.
Yeah. Dark Boy, yes, they did, and they actually had a trailer for it. But somebody leaked it out, and Nintendo cut that quick. So because it was an animated one, it was an animated series.
And chances are it got cut because it was somebody from Netflix that leaked it. So Nintendo said, "Fuck y'all, we gonna do it on our own."
Yeah. About leaks.
Now this one, Ray, I would watch this. I would watch this.
I would definitely watch that. I would watch a Wario and Rabbids cartoon. I say do it. Just be totally insane.
Yeah, I mean that's
Wario treasure hunting and the rabbits running around crazy breaking shit.
That would be amazing.
That would be. And we got to have another visit from Tom Fan so we can do another diss track this time with Wario involved. But yeah, so okay, so you do that. All right, now as far as because you know this is gonna come. If you do this one, if you do any of them, you know people are gonna want Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
of course. But how do you even approach? Where do you start?
You approach Smash Brothers like Disney did Toy Story. Yeah, that's basically what Smash Bros. Is. It is
Toy Story
version of Toy Story. So you do it like that. A kid is playing with his toys and makes his whole story, and that way you can do Subspace Emissary, a season of Subspace Emissary. Guess what? He was playing with that.
Yeah.
But instead of going the route where Toy Story, where the toys actually came to life, we do say, this is all the kid's imagination, and he's putting these stories.
Yeah. I mean, they really are released. They're light years of movie. Like it's a thing. And that is totally somebody's imagination, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, I would do it that way, especially since, and once again, like I brought this up before, that Pit versus Link thing for Smash 4.
That was good.
That you can't play with people like that. Hell, the Punch Out one for
the Star Fox claymation, or the anime, the Star Fox claymation anime one too. Like all that's good.
But y'all can't tease us like that, man.
Yeah, like I even like that Little Mac thing.
I was with that. I still remember thinking that was a Punch Out game.
Ex Machina.
Yeah. The animated stuff they did for Damon X Machina, Astral Chain.
Yeah.
Astral Chain just works anyway. I'm surprised that didn't get animated. I'm surprised nobody picked that up for anime. I'm surprised.
I mean, Bayonetta already exists.
Yeah,
she got her own anime and everything. So wow.
Yeah, it's Scarlet Nexus got one too. I know because that
they
one.
Do. Okay.
Yeah, Funimation had it when they were. Okay. I think it should be on Crunchyroll because they're still bringing stuff over from Funimation to Crunchyroll, so Crunchyroll should have it. But that anime actually wasn't bad. Like it was actually pretty good, pretty decent. But the other one, now here's the one where I think is going to be the problem. This is the one that I really think is going to be a problem because I understand both points of view. I just don't want to see Hollywood get their hands on it, and that's Metroid. Because if Hollywood gets their hands on Metroid, you already know what they're gonna do.
Everybody wants to make this. They want to make it Aliens. That's what they want to. That's what they want to do with it.
but it kind of ain't.
Yeah, it's not.
It ain't.
It really isn't. I think that probably should be an anime.
Yeah.
For that reason, to avoid that foolishness.
And then on top of that, there needs to be an anime because number one, it's going to cost too much to make. Because
Yeah,
you have to CG.
It would be so nice though.
It would be. It would be. Because look, I done seen the fan made stuff, and some of the fan made stuff is good, but you can tell it's fan made.
I like the live action commercials that Nintendo did too. I like those as well. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be close to what the theatrical is supposed to be, but for a 10-second spot, that looks pretty good for what it was.
Like one of the best ones they did was the one for Other M, where they showed her walking through the pieces of her life, and I thought they were gonna show Ridley skewering her as a 5-year-old, but they didn't.
Yeah,
are they really gonna show this? So they didn't show that. They just showed her falling back. But that one was actually pretty good. But like I said, I would love to see that done, but also it would be kind of hard. It would be one of those Other M situations unless you tweak the story of Metroid a little bit to either give her suit of AI or something, or have her with a bunch of bounty hunters. Because a lot of that stuff, she's by herself. So
have her communicating with the Federation through her headset instead of her just talking to herself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to have some kind of interaction. But other than that, I'm like, also, if you don't know the lore of Metroid, you kind of don't know that Samus kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
with good reason. But it's one of those situations where like there's no reason why anybody should say spoiler alert when the Metroid game comes out, because we always know how this is going to end.
Yeah. I think they could translate it well. If let's just assume that Hollywood won't be Hollywood and they'll still make it live action, but make it true to the source material. They could still adapt it in a way where it's like, okay, this single solitary individual, when you play the game, we got to give her somebody to talk to type situation, and it'll still work out. Because Tomb Raider worked out that way. Typically speaking, Lara Croft by herself, talking to herself the whole damn game. Yeah. So, but you give her other people or whatever, and then you're able to make a series of movies, and that kind of works out. So they could probably do it with her, and like you said, it'd be like Galactic Force people, Federation Force people, whoever, or whatnot.
That's why I said, like, because her character is so stoic and so serious, give her an AI that's kind of like comic relief, kind of like
like Vampire Hunter D with his parasite,
kinda, or to a lesser extent, like Ninja and Afro Samurai. I'm not saying be like Ninja, but kind of like on that, commentating on everything she do, type situation. I'm
thinking there's probably a way to do the silence part too, for some of it. Like, I don't think the movie would be good without at least a section of it of her being in isolation, and just kind of like, and at that point, literally just silence and sound effects, kind of situation to promote the sense of dread. And then whenever like there's an encounter,
you just had to say it.
Yeah, and had to do the little product placement there. But then then when you get into the battle or whatever, you got lasers and bombs and stuff going off everywhere, whatever, and then that's fine, and it picks up.
Now, do you add the WWF, AEW, Ring of Honor in Japan?
Yes. Complete with her talking in English and in the old tongue. Yes. Both.
Have her giving people the rock bottom.
Yep. I learned this from Pikachu.
Stone Cold Stun with her cannon under somebody's jaw and blow their head off.
Yep.
Do the British Bulldog, a spear, a stinger splash. Like, wait a minute, hold on.
Hey, Trinell evil, man. He's thinking about Super Mario Brothers 3 type marketing. He's saying, like, just instead of them being toys, they're literally amiibo. And he just sell more amiibo.
Oh, look. The way Nintendo been acting, I can actually see them doing that. I can see
buy
them
popcorn
doing
with your amiibo.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we are in the era of petty Nintendo, so I can see
Yeah.
them.
Because look, and you know how petty Nintendo is. They'll put that David Jaffe room in that damn anime and just be like, and have Samus look at the camera.
I thought that Nintendo was petty back in the Seattle Mariners days. That just that was extreme. Like, I'm going to spend millions of dollars to be petty. Like that was extremely petty. But that David Jaffe, that oof.
Yeah.
And they kept punching down. It was just
like, okay, you gonna talk trash? All right.
Yep, the David Jaffe room. That man gonna be in the credits.
Yeah. All right, so Dark Void, this is actually a good idea because I didn't think of it like that because if you do Mario Kart, you can't do it like wacky races.
True.
Yeah. Wario and Waluigi trying to scheme to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that would literally be a Saturday morning cartoon. I could do it. I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's even worse because you can do double dash format like Wacky Racers was.
Because they had to team up. Yeah, that's how Wacky Racers was.
So let's just say we're gonna just for shits and giggles. We do this. Mario Kart gets done in the anime. So for each season, do you do like what they did for a specific game? Like one season will be like Double Dash. One season will be like 8, where you have the hover. One season would be like the Wii, where they have like the different, kart fights and everything else.
That's kind of what they did with Super Mario Brothers. Like the original show was 1 and 2, and then they started doing Super Mario Bros. 3, and then Mario World
4 right before they canceled, right before NBC got rid of Saturday morning cartoons. So
they kind of continued with the games, so it kind of made sense that they did it that way. So I could see them doing that, and since you're reaching back instead of having to wait on new games to come out,
so you can just do one for.
You know what? I shouldn't say this, but you know what they can bring back?
What?
Captain N.
I mean, I don't see why not. Just to be honest with you.
Actually, Captain N would make sense for the Smash cartoon. Now that I think about it, it's horrible.
That would make sense for Smash.
The Smash cartoon.
Man, put Captain N in Smash. I'm with it.
Captain N was putting himself in the stories with the characters.
I'll buy Captain N amiibo.
I'm surprised. To be honest, I really am surprised that they didn't have Sakurai never had a joke or something to Captain N in any of the Smash games.
It depends on how well he liked or disliked it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just surprised he didn't, because like with all the stuff that he has, like I'm surprised we didn't get, like, especially back when they were doing trophies, like we didn't get a Simon Belmont version from the trophy in there from there. I'm surprised he didn't do that.
They didn't acknowledge him at all. They acknowledged Nestor before they acknowledged, and that's just crazy. I'm like, that's a magazine character, and they just threw him in, and then
that's what I'm saying.
Like, this is a negative mark on our history. Let's forget.
Yeah. So Splatoon anime. Now Splatoon does have a manga, and it's actually not bad. It's actually not a bad manga. So I can actually see them making adaptation of that into an anime. That would also be Saturday morning because it's ridiculous, but it's supposed to be ridiculous. I ain't trying to see serious Splatoon. That's kind of scary.
We all know that Splatoon is a post-apocalyptic Super Mario world.
I mean,
yeah, basically.
I could see both. I could see anime, and I could see since Nintendo doesn't do ray tracing, you can ray trace this. It's a CGI animated, show. Like Sonic Boom, basically.
Yeah,
and,
like that. Yeah.
Have a different item or what have you be the target of the day for that show or whatever. Like,
so you do 15-minute episodes instead of like full 24 or something like that. Just 15-minute episodes. Yeah. Okay.
I have a crazy idea that might work for Splatoon. Do it like Fooly Cooly. Not exactly like Fooly Cooly, but like how the animation styles changed so often.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So change up the animation styles and jump between hand drawn to partial hand drawn to computer animation and then to CGI, and just swap it depending on what they're doing in the episode.
That would be neat.
That would be cool. Yeah. And we know they can do that because we've seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, so you can blend different
that movie so
animation
good.
styles together and they can work. So
that movie's so good.
Oh yeah.
Sounds Chippendale Rescue Rangers just did it.
Yeah, they did it. So yeah, that I can see that working. So Splatoon is another one. Now here's one that I think here's another one like Metroid is going to be one of the ones that divides people because I've heard people wanted to do live action, but I've also heard people wanting to do anime, and that's Legend of Zelda. So Legend of Zelda is an interesting one because of the simple fact that you could probably pull live action off with that one easier.
You could.
Yeah.
It's high fantasy, and we had enough high fantasy shows already.
That's a movie that could be anime, live action, or CGI. It could be either.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like that's the one where, because like when you look at the story for like Legend of Zelda, it's more akin to Lord of the Rings, and you can pull that off.
Yeah,
it can easily be pulled off.
It's just episodic Lord of the Rings with like a hint of Xena.
Yeah, but my thing is, what will be the plot though? Like it's because you're talking about a 2-hour movie, and everything kind of has to wrap up.
Well, here's the thing. What I was thinking,
what lesson is Link learning or Zelda learning through the whole?
Well, with here's the thing: if you're looking at like a movie format, you can do Ocarina of Time probably the best one to start off with because you can do the child part is part 1, and that could be you can put that to about 2 hours, and the adult side be part 2. If they got a bunch of manga for Legend of Zelda. They got one for Ocarina. They got one for Majora. They got one for Link to the Past. They got one for Four Swords. They got one for Oracle of Ages and Seasons. They got one for Phantom of Hourglass. And the one they got out now is Twilight Princess. And the Twilight Princess one is very well done. So you can do anime for that, but the anime would probably be another one where you could just do a game per season. That'll be your season. But like Ocarina of Time, the only reason why I think you could probably get away with doing like a movie format and 2 movies for that is because you can do the child version is part 1 and the adult with the wrap up is part 2.
Yeah, and I was just wondering because like Zelda 2 had a bunch of manga or whatever. And there was a bunch of but that stuff is long. Like that's not something that should be a movie. So
no, that one shouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Like if you want to do there's a way you can do it, but I think to be completely fair, just in my thinking, I think you'll probably wind up better just doing doing anime for Legend of Zelda as opposed to trying to do a live action, because even though you could probably it'll probably be, because people love to say that if it's live action, you have more of a connection to it. I'm like, not really. If you do the anime properly or do whatever any kind of animation properly, you can get the feeling out of it.
Oh, for sure.
So that's and I just think it's better served as that too. So if you that way you could put in giant stone talus. You could put in the Dark Beast Ganon, like it's supposed to be. You know?
I'm thinking it's got to be animated first for them to at least be able to iron out that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then if you have like a super big budget and you want to spend, $300 million on something, then you can go ahead and do your live action or whatever. But it's got to already be ironed out. Like it's got to be tight, and you just.
Yeah. And that's one I know Nintendo ain't gonna let nobody screw that one up. Nah, yeah, not Zelda. Not Zelda.
They're, especially now, since it's like one of the best selling of their franchises now, because it used to be one of the least selling for a long time, and now it's back up there again like it used to be during the NES days. So,
I can't see them like saying, "Yeah, y'all can just do what y'all want to." No goodness, no. AJ Alnuma gonna be all over that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an iconic franchise you can't mess up. Which is I'm still wondering how I guess the weird thing is like Nintendo is able to do this in a very somehow lighthearted but in a very adult way, they're able to touch on just lightly the sexual tension between Link and Zelda, and they like do it in just a
Well,
really loose way to where you have to interpret it, and I don't think that translates well on camera.
the only game that they've actually been like they was a couple was Skyward Sword. The other ones like Twilight Princess, he barely knows her.
Well, Zelda 2, he kisses her, but
Yeah, Zelda 2 he kisses her, but I don't count Zelda 2. A link to the past, he saves her at the first beginning, but then he goes off and you don't see her till the end of the game.
Yeah, she has work to do anyway.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time. If you go by the manga, they interact more, but in the game they didn't. In Ocarina of Time, you can actually show her going through doing the Sheik stuff because people don't understand that. Like a lot of people don't understand that the reason why she would never let him get close to her as Sheik was because it was an optical illusion, which means all he had to do was touch her and the illusion would break. So that's why she was always
distant, like far away
from him, because she couldn't allow herself to get touched.
Whenever he tried to get close, she just break a deep Deku nut in his face. And
so that's what I'm saying. Like they do that, but like the only one that you really like is known as like Skyward Sword. Like even Breath of the Wild for all of what was going on in Breath of the Wild, he was basically her secret service. That was basically he was assigned to her. That was his job.
So in the manga for Zelda 2, it was kind of like that too. And he's a knight and everything now. Yeah. But then they kind of touch on like, hey, you're my knight or whatever. But she kind of looks back at him in a more than a hey, you work for me kind of way.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the entire goal is there. But if Nintendo is green lighting stuff like that in Japan, they know a lot of people see it in Japan, so it must be official. So I don't know. I don't know what the official stance is there, and I don't know what they're trying to say.
The funny thing about Zelda is they've done a very good job of making it where like, okay, look, every game, the two of them are different.
Yeah.
So it's not the same Link and Zelda. So yes, they're reincarnated, but they ain't the same people. Like the Zelda you meet in Twilight Princess is not the same Zelda from Ocarina of Time. It's not the same Zelda from Wind Waker. It's not the same Zelda from Breath of the Wild. You're not going to get the same Zelda. You're not going to get the same Link. So they do a good job of doing that to the point where you don't have to touch on that really at all. Outside of Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword you have to, because it's a major component of the game.
I'm wondering if gameplay components confirm which lineage of Link and Zelda you're using, because up with thrust and down with thrust in Twilight Princess makes it pretty in line with Zelda 2. And in Zelda 2, they're an item by the end of the game. So I don't know if that's
I don't know either. All I know is Twilight Princess is the most violent version of Link.
Yes, it is.
He's a killer.
We had that dream about himself. That kind of freaked me out. I was like, that's kind of strange, but okay. That was kind of dark.
Yeah, true. Okay, now this one, Dark Boy, I have to give you props for this. This could work.
This could work. You could literally do Eternal Darkness like what was the show? Supernatural.
Yeah.
You could literally do it like Supernatural.
But how do you?
Well, we've already got a modern mechanic of how that would go.
Yeah.
And basically, any of y'all played Hellblade?
No, I didn't play Hellblade.
Okay. So essentially, the concept, and there's not a TV show, but there's a movie like this too, where you kind of like, they try to visualize all the hallucinations. So it's just a lot of sound bouncing around and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And usually in a lot of horror movies, they do that thing too, where like, you have the main character, but what you're supposed to be paying attention to is something like very faint in the background, and it changes, but it changes in a very, in a very, how can I say this, in a very vague way. So in the next scene, it'll like change just subtly or whatever, or there might be something like foreshadowing, like words on a wall or something that effect that kind of tell you later on, hey, this thing is about to happen. And then they either fake you out with suspense that goes nowhere, or they actually do the thing, and then go from there. So that could definitely. I think that could definitely work.
Yeah.
The history of her crazy family would definitely be interesting more than anything else, especially since it's dealing with historical events.
You could treat the history of her family like Assassin's Creed does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
you're literally rewriting history. So like it makes sense to be a good movie, honestly.
So here's the question: do you live action Eternal Darkness though?
Yes.
I think you should.
Yes.
I definitely think you should, but you gotta have good acting. You have to have good acting.
You have to. Yeah, because especially like something like because I can see like it's just, so let's say like Dark Boy said TV show. So let's say TV if you do it as a TV show, each episode is dedicated to a chapter of that game. So oh man, I just thought about chapter 4 to do with the Persian Prince. Oh my god, the simp. Oh Lord, the simp.
Yeah.
That's
a wrap.
That's because we're gonna see that coming from a mile away. Like, hold on, you got to do this because she said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're gonna be good and dead. The one with Charlemagne where the guy's basically turned into a zombie.
Bro,
that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting because they
just slowly, piece by piece, too, like to the point where he's just like falling apart at the end. Like,
at the end of the chapter. So I'm like, now that I think about it, that would actually work because you can actually every episode would be different. You have a whole different cast. You have a whole different story, and it'll be different from what. Yeah, that could actually work.
Yeah,
and since it's and that being live action will work better because you can actually use practical effects and stuff. But the whole thing is, do you go full on gore? Well, nah, because you don't have to go full gore on it until the very end.
Yeah,
the series unless you do that hallucination where she dies in the bathtub and her arm falls off and all that. Unless you do that.
Well, at the end of Charlemagne's chapter, the full on gore happens because like
he
explodes out of
he explodes. Yeah.
But there's other parts you could do too. Like you can do an episode that's literally just Pius Augustus setting up. Yeah. Because that happens too in the game. Like it's just like a shortcut scene showing, hey, I'm doing this, blah blah blah.
Yeah. You can do a whole episode of that though.
Yeah. So you can do a whole episode or just episodes dancing around it. Like it shows him saying, I'm setting up this one thing or whatever. Then it cuts to like modern day events or events that happen that have nothing to do with the Eternal Darkness story, just things that were happening during that time. Yeah. And then cut back to Pius or whatever kind of situation. So you know what time frame he's affecting.
Gotcha.
So that will kind of work too. Because I think you still have to roll in with the fact that hey, this is intertwined with the history that we know, and it's affecting it.
Yeah,
which was that was kind of the cool part of the game too. You just you're like, hey, so yeah, that's why there were so many oil fields in Desert Storm because they were literally piling bodies. Like, you know.
This would actually be dope if they could pull off like how they did in the game with like your save file getting erased if your subscription was getting canceled. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
Just show it up things. Just showing it up.
That would be funny as hell.
Please call Netflix at.
Yeah, please call Netflix whatever. Yeah. All right.
Their phone will be blowing up.
Yeah. But yeah, because I remember the first time because I was in college and it was a Saturday. I ain't had nothing to do. I finished up all my projects and stuff, and I was playing some Eternal Darkness. It was one of those 3-4 hour sessions, and they finally hit me with the my memory card. I jumped across the coffee table, tried to grab it. I'm sitting there. Then I remember I'm playing the game. I'm like, what am I doing?
I'm thinking the game got emulated because I got hit with a blue screen. I'm like, this doesn't run Windows. Why am I getting the blue? Okay.
Yeah, like it makes it because the funny thing about that game, and if you haven't played the Eternal Darkness, the funny thing about it, especially at release, was if you put in a long game session, you were gonna get hit with one of those.
Yep.
Ones, not the ones that happen in game, like the people falling apart or going into this room and you see somebody hanging. No, you would get hit with one of either the blue screen of death, your save file.
Your save file is corrupt.
It was one more. The one where your controller would actually start like rumbling, but the buttons wouldn't work.
Yep, I had the one where the buttons wouldn't work, and you're in a room. They put you in a room. It'll be gameplay, but they put you in a room. And there's just endless enemies, and there's nothing you could do. And you try to run and leave a room, and all the doors are locked.
Yeah,
And
I had that one.
It does stuff like that, and you're there for a minute, and you're like, "Holy!" And then all of a sudden, it just goes back. That was a hallucination.
Yeah.
So it's just
there's so much you can do with that. So yeah, that would have to be a TV show because I would love to see how they would do that, like messing with the different characters. But yeah, the only other thing about that though, you would have to have a big cast because you'd have to have completely different actors coming in for every chapter that they did. And
that's
that
Netflix money.
Yeah. Well, Netflix don't have a problem doing that. They don't have a problem giving that up. But okay, so I want before because we hitting up on getting close to an hour. So let's talk about what game could probably, what movie could probably work as a game. Now, Andre, I already know which one you want to do. So you want to go and start it off?
Well, I mean, there's two that I can think of. One that I know people disliked as a movie, but the other one is quite obvious. That is The Last Dragon.
That's right.
You
got that glow, baby.
That's a classic.
No way in the world I'm not going to give Bruce Leroy the opportunity to be in a game.
I mean, they already did the Warriors, so I mean,
But see, here's how I was thinking this could be done. You get .mu and Way Forward, and this is a beat 'em up.
Then you could do it that way. With the route I would prefer is to do it like Sleeping Dogs, but I don't trust Square Enix, so
that's why I said .mu and them. I don't trust. The only other team I would trust to do that is Platinum.
Yeah, because they would most definitely implement a combo system that would just be cheesy enough but vicious enough to actually match the movie.
Now the question is, do you have a mode where you get to play as Shonuff?
Yes. Yes. Why not? Why the hell wouldn't you want to? To play from this side of the events of the story, I would jump on that.
The only problem, I hate that Julius Carey passed away, man. I hate that he passed away because I could just hear him like, man. He would probably love to do that. That whole movie is ridiculous. The entirety of the movie is ridiculous, but I love it. But the problem is now, how do you get the soundtrack? Because that's going to cost some money. So do you get new people to come in and do like
covers?
Yeah. Do you do that, or do you like?
I mean, you have to do the actual Eye of the Tiger, but for everything else, you do covers.
I mean, Barry Gordy has a price.
And the actual song that played during the final battle between Shonuff and Bruce Leroy, those two songs, the actual versions have to be there.
Yeah, those actual versions have to be there. Now, I will have to have Wu-Tang show up at some point since they did. Hey, they doing stuff for Ninja Turtles. They can do something for this. What?
But that would be on brand. It really would. I mean, it really would. Look, I'm not doubting it. That would be on brand.
There's no way in the world you're gonna tell me that nobody in the Wu-Tang Clan saw this movie.
That's literally what they watched.
The whole Wu-Tang Clan saw this movie.
Yeah. So yes, I would need that. As they would have to have at least two. I would need at least 2 tracks from them. At least 2. They did one for Ninja Turtles. They have no excuse. They have no excuse.
That was a good track.
It was a great track. Hell, I like that fight. I try to hang around in that fight more just so I can hear the whole song.
Yep.
So, yeah. But I would. That one would be good. So what's the other one?
The other one is based on an RPG franchise that is basically no longer an RPG.
Okay.
Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Oh God, not Spirits Within, dude. Come on, man.
You do it as a game, you can actually fix the problems of the movie.
Nothing can fix the problems of that movie. That's like trying to fix Dragon Ball Evolution.
Okay, you can fix the problems of the story in the game and make the game good, but the movie still be crap.
I don't think Sephiroth can save that movie.
Spirits Within.
I don't think there's a appearance by Sephiroth and Deadpool can save that movie.
That was a time and place, man. I don't.
I can't mess with that one. All right, Dark Void has a good one. Highlander. With the Nemesis system.
It was supposed to be a Highlander game.
I thought Highlander already was a game.
No, that was they were supposed to got canceled.
They got canceled. I was looking forward to that one too.
Wasn't there an old school one though? Like in the 4th, 5th generation?
Nope, never got made. Nothing never got made. I remember
that got canceled. There were 2 different games that were supposed to be made. Both of them got canceled.
Yeah. So if you throw a Highlander game and you use the Nemesis system, that would be dope.
Yes, it would be. It definitely would be.
But who? Because you can either do that or you can do what's that game from the PS1 era? Bushido.
Bushido
Bushido
Blade.
Blade.
Yeah, Bushido Blade. You can do it like that. But instead of you can't do you'd have to actually take the head to actually finish the duel. You can't just stab them like they was doing on that
one. There was one, but I don't think it came out here. It was in 1986.
Oh, that's old.
And then the other one, it was canceled. That was the 2010 game.
Yeah, I remember hearing it, but it nothing came of it.
Yeah,
I was so looking forward to that damn game.
Yeah, Sinclair Spectrum, Commodore 64, and the Amstrad CPC. So that never came here.
So yeah,
that's UK only, I think.
Who has Warner Brothers does have the rights to Highlander, so they could do it.
Yeah, that was Ocean Software, and I think Warner Brothers does have the rights to Highlander.
Yeah, so Warner Brothers had the rights to it, so yeah, they could do that.
They could do it, but they won't.
So
good point.
And that was an arcade fighting game. So what they were talking about doing an RPG, that actually sounds like a pretty good.
Well, you can do Highlander as an RPG because every time you take a hit, you're supposed to get the powers and
you get
the abilities
power
of the person and the knowledge of the person that you take the head on. That's just the RPG elements right there. You just
I don't know how the fighting game ever worked back then. Apparently there was an Atari Jaguar game. Atari Jaguar CD, Highlander, The Last of the McClouds. That's probably just more of a interactive something.
Yeah, that had to be like an interactive. That probably ain't no real game.
Yeah, I've never. Oh Jesus, yes. Third-person action adventure presented with polygonal characters and pre-rendered 3D. Oh yeah, this is not a game, bro.
Yeah,
this is not.
I've
never heard of this.
Okay.
In all of my Jaguar life, I've never. It came out in '95. The system was almost dead then.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
It only lasted a year, so yeah.
Okay, so Tranell has one. Kill Bill in the vein of No More Heroes.
Oh yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure No More Heroes was heavily inspired by Kill Bill. I would not doubt that.
And especially since the first Kill Bill had that whole anime sequence in there, you can just do different stuff for every person you have to go after.
Yep.
So, that could work. I can see that one.
I have one, and it's more keeping in the spirit of us talking about Eternal Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
There's more than one town because there's a bunch of people doing this, obviously. So you try to figure out who all those are and figure out what's happening after the first event, and that's the first event in Get Out. So that would be your psychological thriller. And I would say because everybody's just about everybody's seen the movie, throw it on its head. Don't even have the same scenarios or whatever. You just kind of fall into it a different way. Okay. And then you find out what's going on, and then you're able to figure that kind of stuff out. And then now you got to get to the bottom of things. I think that will work, especially with the psychological horror aspects. Being in the sunken place, not knowing what's going on kind of situation, and how to, get around, move around and be able to assist other people and whatnot. That would definitely be, I'm thinking more with all these other games out, your Last of Us and stuff like that, doing cinematic storytelling and whatnot, it would be kind of good. I'm thinking more in the RE Engine vein of showing how something like that would happen. And then just progressing the story from there with those same kind of themes. And I would say expand upon them. I mean, they're not just, they're using bodies for different reasons, and they're doing all kind of different research on how to manipulate different people's body parts for different reasons or whatnot. So it can be more than just that. You're harvesting all kinds of things, not just people. Who knows at this point? So you come across a tiger that fucking talks to you, just any.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I can get with that.
So just look. I was just thinking things like that, and then you could actually probably just do a sequel straight on as a movie as well, since you don't expanded the universe. So we'll see.
All right, so Dark Void has this one. What do you guys think? Do you think Deus Ex could work as a movie or a TV show?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm leaning more on the TV show side just because you can flesh out the story better.
Because there's a TV show. I'm trying to think of it that would be like the perfect representation of what Deus Ex was,
Dark
but it
Void,
wasn't as far
Dark Matter, I
future.
think.
Dark Matter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was definitely that kind of a feel.
like something like that with like the Dark Angel TV show, just combining the two of those,
Yo,
Yeah.
it would work.
Yeah, I would say more of a TV show just so we can actually flesh the world out. A movie, you'd have to some stuff feel like it'd be rushed because you only have like a set time.
yeah,
And
definitely a show for Deus Ex.
Yeah, and that's just one of those situations where I think like there's that world can be played around in. You can probably get a good 3-4 seasons out of it.
You could drag it out to 6 if you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
But I'm thinking like with audiences' attention span, probably about a good 3 or 4 seasons, maybe 5.
Well, you get a good 4 seasons out of the main character, and then like another 2 seasons out of the other dude that they switched to.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I can see that.
I got an alibi, and it's going back to the previous topic. How would one go back? Because we're talking about Tom Clancy here. How do we make a Splinter Cell movie?
You do not cast Tom Cruise. That's the first
No,
thing.
you do not. No, you do not. But you find somebody with the voice of Michael Ironside, I guess.
Yeah, you got. Well, in that situation, what I would probably do, because the thing about Tom Clancy is, I like the books more than I like the games.
Yeah, the books are pretty. I like the fact that it's just new enough technology that it could be real. A lot of the Tom Clancy stuff is good for that reason.
Yeah, so to do like a movie, and this is another one I think will probably be better as a TV show, simply because you have more time to like flesh out Sam Fisher. You can and then you don't have to run the risk of it being the Bourne people comparing it to Bourne Identity or Bond or something like that. You don't have to worry about because it's its own thing. When you
actually, Splinter Cell would be more like 24.
Yeah, well, that was
pretty
like,
much.
But you don't
That's
want
what it ends up being.
But you don't want it to get compared to that, to any of that. So that's why I would probably go part of the TV show route. But good. The other problem too is everybody knows his voice, so you have to find somebody with a good enough voice, like an actor with a good enough voice to like
do Sam Fisher.
Yeah.
Or
you can't get Harry Styles to do this.
Maybe it doesn't have to be the same voice, but make him younger. Like it's
you can make him younger, but he has to be.
He would still have to have a scruffy, gravelly voice.
Yeah. But maybe not the same since it'll be like kind of in the past.
Yeah. So I mean, if you go younger, cool. But because I'm thinking what.
I'm thinking Splinter Cell, but in the 1990s. And he still has access to the same technology, but he's hacking 1990s tech with today's stuff. Or maybe future stuff. So it's extremely easy for him to manipulate the environment, but everybody else is kind of like they're extremely low tech and they don't really have a grasp on what he's able to do. That's kind of more of the advantage of the current game franchise anyway. But it'll just be more exaggerated because I think you would probably need that for a movie. If it's just a little bit, if it's anything that anybody could counteract, I don't think it would work well for a movie.
No, it would not for a movie. No, that would actually probably put. Now I'm thinking about it, probably would work better as a movie. As opposed to a TV show, probably would work better as a movie. Thinking about it now, I'm thinking about it in my head.
Like now, if you want to give a backstory to him, then yeah, TV show because you don't have that time for a movie.
Yeah.
So if you just want to do straight action and you're like, hey, this guy and this is the MacGuffin, he's got to save this because of this reason, blah blah blah. Yeah. 2 hours and so many minutes later, you're done.
Yeah, and that movie should not go over 2 hours. No,
like 2:01 at the most.
Yeah, 2:01 at the most.
I'm just thinking of Liam Neeson playing Sam Fisher.
I mean, Liam Neeson would have to be in the movie, but not playing for Sam Fisher.
I'm still trying to think who could be him as old Sam Fisher. Who could be him right now? I'm trying to think. Is there anybody that could? I can't think of anybody that really fits that description. Not just a current known.
Brolin, maybe Josh Brolin, maybe.
See who you talking about, Josh?
Josh Brolin, Thanos,
Yeah, potential.
Cable.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cable.
Let me see if I can get a good shot of him.
Yeah. Cable from Deadpool.
Definitely. Because I see a picture of him shaved.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like he can pull it off.
Yeah. With the hair, no. Without the hair, yes. So definitely with a shaven face. He's yeah, it could definitely be him.
And
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he can pull it off. But if you want to go younger, I don't know who you get.
Jay with the casting company.
Nah, I just know movies. I just know my movies. That's all.
What's up, John Shepard? I see you in the chat, man. It's been a long time, I know.
Josh Brolin's voice is deep enough and scruffy enough to actually be Sam Fisher and be believable.
Yeah, and be believable. Have it be.
I thought he did a good job as Cable too. I just don't like. How do you? Man, damn, he's two people in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, this is gonna be hilarious when Deadpool 3 drops because I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds is gonna bring that up.
Yeah, you know he would.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them jokes he gonna do it on Warner Brothers now. Ooh boy, he didn't have some years to get material.
Yeah, he has no room for mercy at all.
No.
He's like, I will even shame myself in the process. I don't care. Yes, I know I was involved.
Yeah,
it was a check.
And what, dude? He shot himself in the freaking post credit scene.
It was great. That was great. He had to go.
And then said, "You're welcome," and walked off.
Jeez. Did us all a favor. Just yeeted himself out of that timeline. That was great. God bless Deadpool.
Yeah, but I can see Josh Brolin if you're going older, younger. I hate to say this because I know it's going to probably sound stupid, but the only person I could probably think of with the cash is one of the Hemsworth brothers, Liam or Chris.
Maybe
younger.
Maybe
I could see. They got a lot of hair though. Hold on. Hemsworth brothers.
Their hair short.
Yeah, like Chris Hemsworth cuts his hair all the time, so I think Liam the one that grows it out a little bit. But I mean,
I can see it.
You can do it if you go younger.
Yeah, I can see it for sure. I can see it.
You would need somebody that actually has, so you can have people come watch it. See, if you get somebody like Brolin or like one of the Hemsworth, people will come watch it because they're like they know them.
Yeah, and I can see him doing. He would do all the fumbling. Like all his missions are gonna go to shit. So like, but they have to if you're gonna be the young. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can see that.
Sam Fisher.
Yeah, you can't be the cool as a fan Sam Fisher unless you had a whole bunch of. You got to be the young James Bond. You gotta blow some shit up and be all over the news every day.
Yeah.
Now that I'm trying to think because I'm sitting here like I remember there was an enemy in one of the Splinter Cell games that kind of reminds me of Russell Crowe. Now I'm just thinking Russell Crowe's got to be in there as an enemy somewhere.
I'm with it.
Well, the other person has to be in it just because he would be in something like this. Lance Reddick. I don't know what you would cast him as, but he just have to show it just because that's the kind of stuff he does now.
I mean, he could be the guy that just repeatedly shows up and gets shot.
I mean,
you ain't gonna do Lance Reddick like that.
What's to stop Nicolas Cage from doing a cameo? Just like as Nicolas Cage, like at this point,
got him on a billboard in the background.
Yeah, he's like, I'm my own fourth wall break. Like he's.
Hold up, so
that's decent. That's decent.
What y'all think?
As a game, yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
I see it for sure.
I think it would definitely work.
With Bolo as the final boss?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can see that. And definitely, I mean, it doesn't really matter what fighting engine it is. Really, to be honest with you, I think it's just going to be more selling of the characters and recreating the scenes.
Honestly, I put it in the Mortal Kombat engine myself because of the bone breaking.
Yeah, yeah, that would be nice. And then the music too. Make sure the music is spot on.
Let's be real. Bloodsport is low budget Mortal Kombat. That's
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is low budget Mortal Kombat. If you ever seen the movies, anyway, we're gonna call it a night, peeps. It's been fun talking this. I have no idea what Nintendo's gonna do with Dynamo Pictures. I hope they do something with it. Like I said, I want them to finish that Star Fox. You cannot give me the first episode and not finish it.
I think they heard our cries. I think they heard.
And it's still on their YouTube channel. What was that, Andre?
I need a 24 episode season, Nintendo.
Yeah,
I'm down to watch it.
That or Kid Icarus or something, man. And like some of you guys in the chat said, like Mario Kart can be wacky racist. Do something with Wario. That could be. You can have a whole Saturday morning block just off day stuff.
I'm just wondering do you think they're really going to go forward with the app? Because remember, they tried to do this on Wii U because Wii U was supposed to be like an assistant to your TV as well. That's why the whole gamepad was remote.
Yeah.
So they wanted to have their own, they wanted their own media on there as well. That's why they had the Pikmin shorts and all the other kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering, do you think they really are trying to go back to that? I mean, they could.
I think they're trying to because they expose the entire industry with the Switch.
True. And you got 100 million potential viewers. So
yeah. So you bring Miiverse back. You bring back Miiverse, and if I'm hedging my bets, them doing that animation studio, them buying it out completely, that's just gonna bring them in money if they go this route. If they go the anime route, and like my thought was, if I put it on my own app and have that tied to the online service, if you want to watch, you have to buy your online. You have to buy the online service,
and nobody's gonna complain.
Oh no! Somebody's gonna complain. They just gonna do it anyway.
They could make
gonna complain.
What's to stop them from making a dedicated iOS and Android app as well? And then it also linked to your same account because
as long as it links to and don't charge people. I don't see Nintendo charging people extra. I don't see them doing that because their whole mantra is we're affordable. That's their whole mantra. So I don't see them doing that. I can see them like if they do an app, they'll have it tied to the online service, and you'll have to either pay for it annually or monthly. And they'll tell you like it'll be like a Crunchyroll or a Netflix, and whenever the season drops, they'll tell you in the season to drop.
They're gonna call it Nintendo Switch Expansion Pack Plus.
Hey man,
hey, I'm
down.
Yeah, I mean, if you putting stuff on there like Zelda, Fire Emblem, Splatoon, Metroid, Kid Icarus, Smash, you putting like stuff like animations like that on there, and it's like, let's say this just for example, like 6 to 10 episodes of pop. Yeah, that'll pay for it because people are gonna watch it.
And then their own version of Case Closed being Nintendo Detective Club.
Yeah, like people are gonna watch. They're going to watch it. You put on there a Little Mac, a Punch Out one in the vein of Hajime no Ippo, but have more of a comedy. Like I can see people watching that. I can see people being.
If they do that, they'd have to have Samus be the crazy fan in the background with the sign.
I mean, my thing is just do that. Like have like every episode have for his fight have like different characters from Nintendo show up. Have an episode where Link and Zelda show up because she wants to see a fight. Have an episode where Samus is the crazy fan. Have an episode where Peach and Mario show up, and then Peach want to actually box, and Mario has to be like, "No, you're not doing that." Like have it be funny, because that the way I would approach it, have it be a comedy. I wouldn't approach it as being like serious.
Have an episode where Springman come in trying to cheat.
Yeah, have an episode where the orange people show up and be like, why, where's your springs?
I love this because it's free money because you're already creating these character models for the games themselves, and then you just do higher res versions of them, and ray trace them and whatnot, and make them for the movies. Like you can literally pass the art assets from one team to another. You really could do that, and there would be no slowdown in process. So you're basically you're just double dipping on the same work. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, it you can have Mario as a ref, and you can have Waluigi and Wario as like promoters, as janky promoters.
Yep.
I mean, shiesty, like you can have them like that. There's so much you can do with that. And I think people would actually, if they actually sat down and thought about it, they'd probably be like, "Yeah, I would definitely be watching that."
Do that, you gotta have an episode where Lil Mac actually fights Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
that would be so unfair, but okay.
Yeah, that would be funny though. It would be hilarious. Yeah. It would be hilarious. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see that going so many different ways, and I hope they do that as well. Because like I said, that whole Star Fox anime, that 15 minutes of greatness, and they didn't give us no follow up. They didn't give us nothing. They left us hanging.
They're just like, Drew, not about a game.
They didn't even give us like an animation for Star Fox Guard. Now that I'm thinking about it, and that could have been something.
Yeah, they didn't do that. They was like, you know what? We're gonna give y'all this 15-minute anime. Y'all like it? Okay, thank you for liking it. oh, y'all want some more?
Too bad.
No, we ain't doing that.
Why make sense?
Yeah,
why make sense?
But yeah, I can just see this being a positive. I can't see this being a negative. I just see this as being a major positive if they want to move in that direction, because they're the only people in the game industry that actually have enough IP to have their own plethora of whatever they want to put out on a consistent basis. They're the only
industry right now with enough IP and enough money to do it.
Yeah. So I say go for it, because as soon as they do it, because once again, I always thought Mario was going to go to Pixar, but Universal outbid Pixar. I don't know how the hell that happened. Yeah. But Universal outbid Pixar, and they went with Universal
because they knew what they were buying.
Yeah.
I mean, it was literally them buying Mickey Mouse essentially, because that's the that's the next step down from Mickey Mouse. Is going to.
But if you ask anybody, everybody just assumed. I assumed. I'm like, oh, Pixar gonna grab that.
Yeah, because of Bowser being in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Pixar finna grab that. Like, they ain't no way in the world Disney gonna let that slip through their hands.
But who got Sonic? Paramount?
Paramount did.
Yeah.
Paramount got Sonic. So, but we're gonna see what happens. Andre, anything you want to pimp out?
And not specifically. I just got stuff on my channel. If you want to watch it, watch it. If not, that's cool. Just come subscribe here and like the stream.
Yeah, don't forget to like, people. Please don't forget to like. Shadow, anything you want to pimp out?
Man, please like these videos. Man, y'all follow me and y'all want to see me post videos and stuff, but then y'all don't see me when we over here. Like, come over here and like all these other channels here. Like Jay's channel, like Andre's channel, like Jack's channel, like Sandstorm's channel. Man, y'all follow, man, like, and subscribe. I'll be here as much as I can, and my channel is probably going to spin up pretty soon, so be on the lookout. If you're subbed to me already, you'll get a notification. Maybe, I don't know, YouTube only likes to do that for certain people, depending. So yeah, just pay attention and follow me on Twitter, and I'll announce something there too. So
cool.
But other than that,
all right, and there is some gameplay of Live Alive over on the gaming channel and on this one as well. So check that out. That music in that game is awesome, by the way. I think, like, if you try the demo out, that's what made me buy it, was a demo. And I just finished Imperial China today. That story was dope. The Wild West story made me want a Wild West JRPG game. So yeah, go try out Live Alive. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is on deck. So Friday, I will probably be doing like a 2-hour stream of that. no commentary because I'm just gonna let it play. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, check back next week. We'll be here 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I may try to get a crew together to do some of these trailer reactions for Comic-Con that's just wrapped up today. So I'll try to do that sometime next week if I can get people to join. If not, I'll just do it myself. So be on the lookout for that. And we will see you guys next Sunday. Peace out, people.
Peace, everybody.